health care on hold.
Obamacare is the law of the land. It's going to remain the law of the land until it's replaced.
The reform bill pulled just minutes before a vote. Republicans unable to unite behind it. Democrats celebrate the twists and turns leading up to one of the most chaotic days on Capitol Hill.
Donald Trump's major setback.
I'm disappointed.
The author of The Art of the Deal unable to close this one.
The best thing we can do, politically speaking, is let Obamacare explode.
Is it the worst week of his young administration, and how does he move forward now? A look at his options.
Ready to testify, Donald Trump's former campaign chief, Paul Manafort, volunteering to appear before the House Intelligence Committee looking into Russian meddling in the election. Will he speak behind closed doors or in front of the cameras? This, as committee chairman Devin Nunes comes under more fire from the Democrats. What he's now saying about Trump's infamous wiretapping claim.
And Elite Eight, drama on the hardwood. UNC's quest for redemption. A South Carolina surprise. Kentucky taking the night. And this amazing buzzer beater in overtime. All setting the stage for the Final Four.
Live from ABC News in New York, this is Good Morning America.
Hey, good morning. President Donald Trump waking up to a blizzard of unpleasant headlines this morning. Trump and Ryan meet defeat. Divided GOP drops health bill. There's this one, fiasco. And finally, is there a doctor in the House?
It's a tough crowd this morning, isn't it? The Associated Press calling the failure of the bill to repeal and replace Obamacare, quote, an epic, damaging, self-inflicted collapse, end quote. Now, President Trump, who has built his reputation as a deal maker, came up short this time.
He and the leaders in the House decided to pull the bill at the last minute when it became very clear that they did not have the votes. Their inability to deliver on what was a key campaign promise raises all sorts of questions about what Trump and the Republicans in Congress will be able to achieve going forward.
We do have team coverage this morning. We kick it all off with ABC's Mary Bruce, who's been covering all of the action for us on Capitol Hill. Mary, good morning.
Good morning. Well, for 7 years, Republicans have promised to get rid of Obamacare, but this morning, that chapter appears to be closing. Republican leaders and the president delivered their first major legislative defeat at the hands of their own party.
I will not sugarcoat this. This is a disappointing day for us. Doing big things is hard.
It was a stunning admission just moments before the House was expected to vote. The speaker announcing Obamacare is here to stay.
Obamacare is the law of the land. It's going to remain the law of the land until it's replaced.
Paul Ryan conceding he does not have the votes to get it done.
We came really close today, but we came up short.
The speaker and the president pulling the bill after a frantic push to make a deal falls short. By mid-morning Friday, it was clear conservative opponents were standing their ground.
There's no negotiations.
It's done, not going to pass.
Yeah, so the only thing going on now is basically arm twisting.
Meanwhile, at the White House, the negotiator-in-chief who had demanded they hold the vote, now seeming not so sure.
Do you think it's going to pass?
See what happens.
Did you rush it, do you think?
We'll see what happens.
On the House floor, the debate on the bill well underway. Democrats railing against the Republican plan.
Healthcare is a right. It is not a privilege reserved for a wealthy few.
As the hours pass, it's clear the votes aren't there. The House Speaker traveling to the White House to break the news to President Trump. But the White House press secretary still optimistic.
Leader and the whip are, doing their vote counts. The debate is ongoing. We're going to continue. We are proceeding with a 3:30 vote as scheduled.
But it was not to be. Back on the Hill at 3:31 p.m. as the vote was expected to begin, the announcement.
Further consideration of H.R. 1628 is postponed. The chair declares the House in recess subject to the call of the chair.
The speaker canceling the vote.
That is the growing pains of governing. We were a 10-year opposition party where being against things was easy to do. You just had to be against it. And now, in 3 months' time, we try to go to a governing party.
But Democrats declaring it a victory for the American people.
Let's just for a moment breathe a sigh of relief for the American people.
Now, no word yet from former President Obama, but his Vice President Joe Biden reacted on Twitter, echoing that every American who worries about getting health care when they get sick can breathe that sigh of relief. Paula.
All right, so Mary, everybody's asking what's next. Are we just going to close the chapter on healthcare reform and then move on to the next bit of legislation? What's next?
Yeah, Paula, for now, Obamacare appears to be here to stay. Republicans say they're moving on to their next priorities, but this defeat exposes some serious divisions within the Republican Party and raises doubts about whether they can deliver on the rest of their agenda.
All right, Mary, thank you. Mary has been a busy woman on Capitol Hill. Thanks for your reporting,
Great
Mary.
job. The president is trying to put the best spin possible on this defeat, saying Obamacare will, quote, explode on its own. But for now, he appears ready to move on to another top legislative priority, as we said, tax reform. ABC's David Wright is at the White House this morning. David, good morning to you.
Good morning, Dan. Just like that, the White House is moving on. The president's first big piece of legislation has now gone down in flames. And rather than try to fashion a compromise, he's walking away, blaming the Democrats.
And I'm disappointed because we could have had it. So I'm disappointed. I'm a little surprised, to be honest with you.
In the Oval Office, right after the Speaker's announcement, President Trump tried to spin this as a defeat for his opponents.
And I think the losers are Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer, because now they own Obamacare. They own it.
Insisting the future will prove him right.
The best thing we can do, politically speaking, is let Obamacare explode.
But just last week, Trump said that leaving the Affordable Care Act in place would be irresponsible.
It's the wrong thing to do for the country. It's the wrong thing to do for our citizens.
On Friday, Trump insisted he hasn't broken any promises.
I never said repeal and replace Obamacare. You've all heard my speeches. I never said repeal it and replace it within 64 days. I have a long time.
But throughout the campaign,
we're going to repeal and replace that horror show called Obamacare.
And the transition.
That is why we're going to repeal and replace Obamacare. We have no choice.
He promised to fix health care on day one.
We will be able to immediately repeal and replace Obamacare. Have to do it.
And you'll see rates go down, 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 and you'll see plans go up, up, up. You have a lot of choices.
Instead, it's back to Plan O.
I think we have to let Obamacare go its way for a little while, and we'll see how things go. I'd love to see it do well, but it can't.
With health care reform off the table for now, Trump is now turning his attention to tax reform. Overnight, Hillary Clinton called this a victory for all Americans. She tweeted out the stories of people who have been helped by Obamacare and urged her reporters to stay focused, tweeting, "Let's not be distracted. Let's continue to stand up, organize, resist." Dan?
Yes, Democrats certainly claiming victory. David, thanks for your reporting.
Right,
There's
Paula.
so much political news to chew on. Joining us right now, Tara Setmeyer, a former GOP communications director. She's on set with us. And also in Washington, we have ABC News political contributor Kristen Soltis Anderson, or as Dan likes to refer to as KSA. Tara, let's begin with you. You were on Capitol Hill during the Obamacare vote. Now, Trump sold himself as the negotiator in chief, as the deal maker. How big of a setback personally is this for him?
Well, it is certainly a setback. He, as we saw in the package leading up to this, he bragged about that it would get repealed and replaced day one immediately. He sold the American people on the idea that he would be able to get this done. And it's a heavy lift. Trying to repeal something as large as Obamacare, which is basically 1/5 of our economy, is not something you can do overnight, which I think was the folly of the GOP-controlled Congress, thinking that they would be able to do something like this in 64 days. They did not spend the time and invest the effort into messaging it to the American people to sell this bill. However you felt about it, I personally felt there were significant flaws in this bill and they could do better. But the Democrats spent a year. Barack Obama was out on the trail for almost a year selling the Affordable Care Act to the American people, which turned out to be not quite true with you can keep your doctor, you can keep your plan, but they sold it. So you did not see that same level of buy-in here with the Republican plan. And I don't think Donald Trump was really completely committed to this, despite what the public face on this really is. Tax reform is something that you can see he's more invested in. I don't think he really wanted to get into the details of health care.
Kristen, let's bring you in, because the question now is what's next? We're talking about tax reform. He has an ambitious legislative agenda, which also includes infrastructure. This is a big, stinging defeat, though. What does it say about his ability to work with the Republicans to get more done going forward?
It shows that governing is a lot harder than he probably imagined. And it shows that the House Republican Conference is a lot more diverse, has a lot more varied interests than perhaps Donald Trump was ready for. If there are any two things that you would think almost all Republicans would agree on, it's repeal and replace Obamacare and let's reform the tax code. And so with the first sort of going down in flames yesterday, it's a question if the second will work. It's also important to think about how these were sequenced. Part of the reason why Republicans wanted to repeal and replace Obamacare first is because it would save the government a little money, meaning when they go to change the tax code, they can cut taxes a little further. Now, with Obamacare still in place, that changes how much they can do on tax reform.
Kristen, let me ask you too, because Americans are justifiably concerned about health care in general. Trump maintains that Democrats are eventually going to come to him when Obamacare explodes, according to him. So what right now is the future of health care?
I think right now the future of health care is Obamacare. It's the law of the land. The law that was passed back in 2010 is what we've got. And so I think there will be a moment when voters begin to say, look, in my state, the health insurance exchange only has one plan. I don't actually have choice. We want Congress to do something. That's when the pressure will mount for Congress to take action again.
You see that happening, Tara?
Yeah, absolutely right about that. As much as we want to see, try to prevent what's coming down the pike with Obamacare, because it's only going to get worse. That's true. Democrats know that for sure. They've actually dodged a bullet somewhat for right now, but the rubber will meet the road by the end of this year. And I think the political climate for the electorate will be a little bit more malleable in selling an Obamacare fix or replace than they are right now, because like I said, the GOP, Paul Ryan, even Donald Trump, they didn't do a great job of selling why this was so important right now.
Sure.
So healthcare is a very personal issue and it's very complicated, but when people start to really feel it en masse, more so than now, I think you'll see a political climate more open to radical changes.
Tara Setmeyer, Kristen Stoltes-Anderson, we really appreciate your input on this Saturday morning. Thank you. As if the healthcare debacle wasn't bad enough, there's news this morning on another story that's been dogging President Trump for months. Russia. Trump's former campaign manager now says he's going to testify before Congress about his ties to Russia. This as Democrats are saying the investigation may be tainted by partisan politics. Paul Manafort, who was the chair of the Trump campaign for several months and who oversaw the Republican convention, has now volunteered to testify before the House Intelligence Committee. It's not clear whether that will happen publicly or behind closed doors.
We will allow people to come forward in whatever manner that they want to come forward. We will work with them as long as they're willing to come in, especially if they're willing to come in freely.
We're also learning that there will be another appearance before the committee next week from the FBI Director James Comey, who recently revealed that the investigation into Russian meddling in the presidential election is also looking at whether people tied to the Trump campaign may have colluded with the Kremlin. Comey made it clear recently that the president's now infamous claim that his predecessor wiretapped his phone during the election is untrue. But this past week, the Republican chair of the House Intelligence Committee, Devin Nunes, went to the White House to personally brief the president on reports that members of the Trump team may have been caught up in government surveillance during the transition period. Trump said he felt vindicated.
Do you feel vindicated by Chairman Nunes? I somewhat do. I must tell you, I somewhat do.
But on Friday, Nunes clarified his position.
There was no wiretapping of Trump Tower. That didn't happen.
Democrats are now intensifying their call for an independent commission to investigate, saying Chairman Nunes has lost credibility and is covering for the White House.
He, it seems, continues to be more loyal to the president than our duty to have a search for the truth that is independent and collaborative.
Yeah, and making matters even thornier, Democrats are also outraged that Nunes has canceled the scheduled public hearing in which former Obama administration officials had agreed to testify about the Russian investigation.
It's that drip, drip, drip of Russia. Yes. All right, so let's pivot away from politics on this Saturday morning to a frightening scene in Las Vegas.
This is breaking overnight. Guests at the famous luxury hotel, the Bellagio, sent running after word of an armed robbery, and ABC's Jim Wjla is on the story in Los Angeles. Jim, good morning to you.
Good morning, Dan and Paula. A chaotic scene unfolding at the Bellagio Hotel and Casino. Panicked guests fearing that there was a shooting. Police now confirming that it was an armed robbery. Witnesses saying it was at the Rolex store. The search is on right now for suspects. It all unfolded just hours ago, the thieves smashing cases at the store. Witnesses telling ABC News the suspects had sledgehammers, and at least one of them was wearing a pig mask. The woman who took this photo, telling us she didn't know what was going on. The person wearing the mask was yelling at people. Once she realized they had a gun, well, she got out, as many others also did. That's when people started screaming, in fact. Guests fled the hotel, fearing that there was an active shooter. Police confirming now, this morning, that there were no shots fired, and the thieves busting windows at the store and taking off with merchandise. Police tell us they do have some people in custody, but they continue to search for more suspects. They're reviewing the surveillance cams at this point. They say all of the suspects were wearing masks. The hotel was on lockdown for about 30 minutes, but authorities say that it's back in operation now. And certainly a frightening scene playing out at one of the most popular, one of the most famous hotels in Las Vegas.
Yeah,
Dan
it's
and
an
Paula.
iconic spot. Jim Wjla on the breaking news. Jim, thank you very much. That pig mask, a little eerie.
I know, it is eerie. Sounds like a movie script, but we're just relieved to hear that everybody's okay this morning in developing news out of Las Vegas. So, Rob, we missed you. We had Sam Champion last weekend, but we missed you, and it's so great to have you back.
Thanks. I missed you guys, too. Had a little bit of time off, and as luck would have it, I got a little bit of a cold, so forgive me on that. We want to show you what happened in the plains yesterday. Look at this. Looks like snow, but this is hail accumulating in Bentley, Kansas, just outside of Wichita. We had reports of golf ball size hail in parts, but obviously the accumulation is what is more impressive. Dozens of reports of severe weather, obviously the hail. We also had some wind damage across parts of northern Louisiana, and all associated with this front that's pushing east. So New Orleans, you'll get into it today. Memphis to Nashville, Birmingham, Huntsville, all will see the threat for severe weather today as this front pushes off towards the east. As we go through tomorrow, it looks like we'll recharge the atmosphere. Several waves coming through, so we're going to have severe weather, looks like, through this week. Tomorrow looks to be a better chance of tornadoes in the more classic tornado alley. Timing this out, some rain up through Chicago. You had 82 yesterday, now in the 30s today. That is a rude slap in the face. More so some spring showers across the Northeast as we go through the rest of the weekend. That's a quick check on the national headlines. Here now is your local forecast.
Good Saturday morning. Daytime highs today well above average into the mid-70s we go. Mostly cloudy skies if you're heading out to take a look at any of the cherry blossoms this afternoon. Maybe even could see a few isolated showers in a few spots later this evening, mainly after about 5 o'clock and mainly staying to the west of D.C. But much needed rain stays in our area as we go through the early half of the week. That chance sticks around Monday and Tuesday with a chance for some thunder as well. Enjoy your upcoming weekend.
Much more weather to talk about, including snow, and there's something weird going on in the tropics. We'll discuss that early in the hurricane season. Not even hurricane season yet, next half hour.
Great to have you back, cold notwithstanding.
Thanks, buddy.
A lot of other news this morning, and for that, let's kick it over to Ron.
Hey, good morning to you, Dan and Paula, Diane, Robert. Welcome back. Good morning, everyone. We're going to begin with the Trump administration's mandatory electronics ban on flights from 8 majority Muslim countries going into effect this morning. The ban prohibits passengers from those nations from flying to the U.S. Carrying on board laptops, tablets, cameras, DVD players, and electronic games. Cell phones and medical devices are exempt from that ban. And the government of Saudi Arabia this morning confirming that the suspected attacker on Wednesday's deadly attack in London was in that country 3 times since 2005. British authorities releasing this photo of Khalid Massoud, a 52-year-old British citizen. ISIS is calling him its soldier. Police in London launching more raids and questioning 2 men trying to find out if Massoud acted alone. And back in the U.S., in Georgia, a small plane crashed into a home and burst into flames in Cobb County, that is near Atlanta. This happened Friday evening. Plumes of smoke could be seen from miles away. The pilot of this small plane died in that crash. Fortunately, no one else was hurt. The family who lived in the home was attending church at the time. The cause of that crash is under investigation. And the former president of Penn State University is now facing up to 5 years behind bars for his role in the Jerry Sandusky child molestation scandal. A jury finding Graham Spanier guilty on 1 count of child endangerment. He was charged with failing to report to Child Protection Authorities complaints against Sandusky. Then an assistant football coach, Spanier, was acquitted on 2 other charges. And basket after basket after basket. Phoenix Suns guard Devin Booker on fire, pouring them in and pouring it on as he racked up, check this out, 70 points last night against the Boston Celtics. It was the most points scored in a single basketball game since Kobe Bryant's 81 points 11 years ago. He made 21 out of 40 shots. Even the hometown Boston fans, you see there, cheering him on. Even with Booker's 70 points, the Suns were eclipsed by